Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. A couple of things that you should be aware of this morning. All right. Number one, Apple sales in China down 24%. That was random. I didn't know they were going to report that news overnight. All right. So Apple down here at 170.78 at the lows. All right, this is crazy. I want to talk about this morning. All right, and then also news overnight on the chip stocks. Of course, this happens a lot, right? When a particular stock gets too high, they come out with weird news to slap it down. So, U.S. Commerce Department saying something about AMD chips is too powerful for China, etc. So that got AMD gap down this morning here. It's got a gap to fill back at 204.50s here at 285, hit a low about 198 on AMD. Now, one of the interesting things is, right, do you buy this dip on AMD, or could it go lower with the market? You want to watch out with Nvidia today. All right, so you got this pattern setting up on Nvidia. Obviously Nvidia is running pretty hot, 4-hour, daily, weekly. It's all running pretty hot, and it looks like as it could start chopping into this apex and maybe pull a move back towards 880 from yesterday's high. So Nvidia so far overnight hit 831. Now it's got a daily gap at 824. But if this breaks out, yeah, you could probably double top at 885. So you test the lows. All right. But this looks pretty good in terms of the pattern goes for Nvidia. All right. Let's go to talk about SPY real quick. And that is this chart here. So we broke out of the trend yesterday or several days ago. Sorry. All right. And we're back under the trend line. If we take a look at, with the pre-market hours here, so we already broke this trend line here, we may need to come down to 505. I feel like if there's like some bad jobs data, there's ISM this morning, tomorrow's ADP and JOLTS, I believe, right? This could come down to 505 or 506, all right? What you need to watch out for today is, number one, is the 5 daily moving average at 509.28. All right, 509.28 right about here. That's a 5-day moving average. If that holds today, that could be the dip buy. All right. If that doesn't hold, then it's likely that we're going to have to visit 508 breakout area. All right, so you can see it's pretty weak here in the pre-market here. So we have those puts that I bought at towards yesterday's close. So if we trend it, if the market trends around the 510 area, or let's say below yesterday's low, pre-market low, and right at the 5 daily moving average, this is where I could hold some of the puts, maybe sell some at the bell, because it looks like it could go lower. All right. If it breaks that 5 daily moving average, then I think the worthy target is going to be 508, which is also conveniently your 200 moving average on a 30-minute chart. So you look at the volume gap here on a 30-minute chart, it's kind of moving through it. You want bulls to defend the 509 area. If not, come see the 508 area. This would be a 200 moving average 30-minute, and you can tell over the course of this run up, all right, for the last several weeks, mostly, it always tends to dip below that 200 mark and then recovers and then dips back, but usually it starts ripping, right? 4-hour, right? We started talking about this yesterday. So your 4-hour stochastic is winding back down, which is a positive sign. You don't want that 4-hour to be so hot all the time. And the 1 hour is back on the floor with a gap to fill this morning back up here at 511. So there could be an opportunity for a gap and trap play on both sides today. So, maybe in the morning they run this thing back up to 511, fill the gap and dump it back down, right? That's your classic gap and trap play. On the 30-minute chart, once again, yesterday we had a nice bull flag breakout. All right, this was a bull flag here. All right, broke out, and then Nvidia started dumping the market. All right. And then boom, we're right back here to 510. If we break 510, it could, yeah, I mean, we might as well test that 5 moving average at 509.28. Okay. So other than that, Apple, all right, I'm going to talk about Apple real quick. All right, Apple. Where do we buy Apple is the question, right? When does it become, I mean, yesterday you would think that risk to rewards was pretty good until this morning, right? 170 here, all right? Where could it get really interesting? I would say probably 165, okay, at this point. Somewhere around this area is likely where it's headed. Now, obviously, 170 is a psychological support, just like 180 was several days ago. You could probably scalp it, but Apple is just not a stock that you want to own overnight these days because it just keeps getting hit with bad news, right? Okay, so Nvidia, all right, shooting star set up yesterday, all right. Weird that they dumped it yesterday after hitting 876. Well, I mean, Nvidia has been very, very lucrative last couple of weeks for me, at least. So there's definitely some opportunities with the weakness here, especially on a 30-minute chart. But I mean, I really like to see this gap at 824 get filled, right? 824, 825. If this gets filled, it's probably good for the market to buy the dip, right? You look at Nvidia, right? Okay, so this is what I want to talk about this morning is that without Apple and without Google, without Tesla, you got Mag 4, I guess, right? Which is Netflix, Meta, Microsoft, and Nvidia. That's it. That's the Mag 4. And your breaths aren't improving. Okay. It's only Nvidia keeping the market up, propping up. And if Nvidia dumps, right, we could be in a world of hurt. I'll tell you that. If the Biden administration comes out with more news on Nvidia, all right, if Nvidia gets any bad PR, okay, it's very toppy. I understand it can probably go 1,000. I understand SMCI, with AVGO earnings this Thursday. Marvel is reporting as well this Thursday. That can have a dramatic impact on the market, right? Because AVGO, let's say AVGO dies on Thursday, all right? What will that do to NVIDIA and the market overnight on a Thursday? Okay, so we need to be extra cautious on this. I know that NVIDIA has been super fun, all right, and SPY has been super fun, okay, but this can't last, right? This can't sustain itself without Apple participating and the weight that it has on the market, right? And also Google and also Tesla. Okay. But everybody's selling Apple, going Nvidia, going AMD, right? AMD back over 200, 201 right now. Nvidia taking a small dip here after hitting that trend line that I just pointed out. This doesn't seem sustainable to me. I'm not being a bear. I'm not trying to say I'm being a big bear right now, nor am I saying I'm going to short this market. I'm going to go with it, but you get into a situation now it's kind of dangerous. Okay, but let's look at talk about one more thing here about SPX. Okay, all right. So SPX, if you just kind of look at this trend line, yesterday SPX hit 51.49 at the highs, and this has been the pattern if you haven't noticed, right? So what happens is that, okay, so let's say, all right, SPX is 50.50, okay, right here, back on February 22nd, okay, hits 50.50, all right, and pulls back, reattacks 50.50, fails, pulls back, gaps back up, okay, and then we hit 5100. Okay, we hit 5100, all right, and then it pulls back to 50.50, and then skyrockets to 51.50, blows past it, all right. So yesterday we hit 51.50. Guess what's going to happen? Do you see the pattern? All right, likely comes back to what, 5100, right? So right now we're at 51.30. We're probably gapping down. All right. If we gap down to need to retest 5100 level, right? Retest that 5100 level. If that succeeds, then okay, then buy the dip right back up. If 5100 level fails today, then we need to retest 5050. Okay. But that's been the case of the 50s on SPX. If you haven't noticed in the last couple of weeks, is that we hit a significant we hit like a 50-50 mark, a 100 mark, like 4,500, 4,550, retest 4,500, goes to 4,600, and retest 4050, 4,550. You know what I mean? All right. So it tests, it runs in 50s. Okay. So we hit 5150 yesterday. Okay, pretty much. All right. Let's see if we get a pullback and SPX holds 5,100. If it doesn't, then okay, then might be short time. All right. But if it does, then it can reattempt that 5150 level. All right. So here we are. I marked my charts so far this morning. All right. For, let's see, the 5 DMA. All right. 509, excuse me, 509.28. Right about here. All right. So if this breaks, if this holds 5 daily moving average, could be a buy dip out opportunity. That would be roughly 5,100. Okay. On SPX. If it doesn't hold, right, then we need to come back and probably retest 505 eventually in the coming days. Now, this morning you do have data. All right. Let me pull that up. Okay. All right. This morning, S&P Global at 6:45. All right. So 15 minutes after the bell. ISM at 10 a.m. Bar speaking later this afternoon. No big deal. Super Tuesday is this evening. So probably market could react to that overnight. Tomorrow morning, ADP at 5:15. Powell 10 a.m. Jolts 10 a.m. Daily at 12 p.m. So tomorrow is where you start getting this jobs data. Okay. So we'll see what the jobs data suggests. All right. So like I said, if we can't get back over 511 today and hold above 511, all right, or maybe they run this back up to 511, reject this trend line here, slap it back down. Then if we can't get back up here, then I have to sell my calls. If we just hang out down here, I have a feeling that we're going to go a little lower to reset that 4-hour stochastic. Okay. And then I can just hold some puts or reload some puts. Okay. So yeah, that's all I'm looking at today. All right. So that's it, folks. That's it for me. Hope you guys have a great one.